Awesome. Hey, thanks. Sam, this is Mrs. Anspaugh, and I'm trying to make a video here to help kids learn how to make a Japanese origami crane. I'm starting with a piece of printer paper, and I've cut it already in a square. So the first thing I like to do is fold a diagonal fold, corner to corner. I'm only going to do this one time. I only need one corner to corner fold. One thing that's really important is that we get it as perfect as we can and that we crease it as well as we can. I can use my fingernails to crease it, but if you have something else laying around, that works too. Sometimes I use the handle of my scissors, but it helps a lot if you'll have that be nice and... It's okay, guys, it's okay. If you'll make that really sharp. Okay, we're going to open this now because we only need it one. Now I'm going to go this side to that side, so we're going to fold it in a rectangle shape. Some kids call this a hamburger fold. Some kids call it a hot dog fold. This is, I guess, both because it's a square. See me creasing it with my thumbnails? It's important to make that sharp. Open it back up again. I have a fold here and I have a fold here. Here's where I need my next one. So when I get to this point, I open it back up again, and I should have a plus sign with a diagonal across it. Now it's a little bit easier if I turn it over towards the back to do this next part. Because this part is, see how that's going to be a mountain fold? Then we want these to be valley folds. We pull this to the inside. You can do it from the other side too. This is called a squash fold. I think this is the beginning of that project that kids do that's called that they call a cootie catcher. Do you do this at the beginning of a cootie catcher? Yes. All right, sweet. Okay, so the thing to remember is that it looks like this. So these are to the inside of that. Sometimes kids do this and they fold it like that, but then it won't work. These triangles have to be on the inside. And you'll be able to kind of feel where they are in there, and that's going to be kind of important for this next step. Okay, for the next step, sometimes kids mess this up. It's really important that this is able to eat your tummy. This needs to be opening up towards you. If you have it turned around like this to do this next fold, the rest of your thing won't work. So you have to have it so that it can open up here. Okay? I'm going to do, I call this a kite fold. This corner, I fold this part down. This corner goes over to here like this. And lines up with that middle part, and it ends up looking a little bit like a kite. We'll crease this really good. This side over. Also, they should meet in the center, and they should meet as close as I can down here at this corner. See how I've got that a little bit off right there? I'm going to fix that because in the end, that's going to be the tip of my swan's or my crane's beak, and I want it to be really sharp. So I'm going to fix that. Okay, see how that looks a little bit like a kite? That's why I call it the kite fold. Now I'm going to turn it over, being really careful that it still is got its open side towards my tummy. I don't want to turn that around. This side that can't open has to be away from me. Now I'm going to do the same thing, kite fold on the other side. Like this. Creasing it really good with my fingernails. You can use a tool if you want. Okay, there's my kite fold. So now it should look like a kite from both sides. Okay, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, so here's the next part. This is the part that's just a tiny bit tricky. Open back up this kite, and now we do something. Oh, I forgot something. Sometimes it helps and makes this a little easier if you'll fold the top of the kite so that it's folded right across the top of there. And I like to turn it over and do it both ways. This is a crease to make the next part easier. Okay, now we'll open this up. I always called this opening the bird's mouth, but I've also heard it called a petal fold. So open it like this so that it goes to this crease. And if you kind of pull and gently work so that that turns around and folds the opposite direction, you'll see this kind of fold in. Some people say it looks like a canoe. See how that's folding to the inside? You have to be really gentle because you want that to be nice and sharp again up there at the very tippy top. Okay? See what that looks like now? Now I have to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to open these guys. And I'm going to open this bird's mouth. This is the one part that you might find just a little bit tricky. You're going to have to work at it a little bit because the fold doesn't just naturally want to go there. Okay, I'm going to make these nice and sharp. Okay, now it's important, again, that I keep this little house thing away from me. This part that looks like legs, that part should be towards my tummy. If I get it turned around, the crane won't work. So the legs have to be towards my tummy. Okay, then I'm going to do kind of just another version of the kite fold. Same sort of thing. These are going to come in like that. And this one's going to come in like that. And I try to make them neat, and I try to get them as sharp and crisp down here at the bottom as I can. And just like everything with my crane, I do it all the same on both sides. So I'm going to fold this in too. And I'll be able to tell that I'm doing it right if when I get these things folded in, if I have two long skinny legs that can move. See those two long skinny legs that can move right there? That's how you can tell if you've done it right. Now, these are going to be the crane's wings up here. These are going to be the crane's head and tail down here. So my next part, I'm going to turn this like it's the page of a book. See me turning that? So that I can fold the crane's head up by its wings. So this part goes up without ripping as close as I can get it to where the legs come together. So I fold that right in the middle. Okay? See that part? So this should be a line straight across. Now when I turn it over, again, I want to turn this like the page of a book. There's my crane's wings. Here's my crane's head or its tail. And I fold that up. Oh man, we're almost done, you guys. Okay, I get this creased really nice here. And I fold this part over. Back again. So now I'm turning the pages of the book again, closing his head and his tail inside between his wings. That, turn it over. Again, I have to turn this page of the book. That's not lined up very centered, but I'm going to try to center it there. Okay, so now, here's a wing. Here's a wing. See his head and his tail in there? So then I can decide which one I want to be the head and which one I want to be the tail. So I sort of fold it on his body like this, and I pull that part out just a little, and then I need to redo this crease so that it stays. Pull that part out just a little. And I like to take the one that's the nicest and let that be the tail. And if I have one that's a little bit bent, then I like to make that the head because I'm going to bend it anyway. And I'll bend that part down to make that into the head. And now I can pull his wings out like that. And I can kind of tug on that to sort of puff up his body. If I tug it angrily, I can kind of make his body so that it holds his wings out a little bit. Some artists take a minute and blow in this little hole in his tummy right there. You want to show me doing it? Can you see me doing it, Sam? And I can sort of inflate that part right there. I can tug that out to be nice and flat. And that'll help hold these wings in place. There's my origami crane.
Show us how you pull the tail.
I don't know about pulling the tail.